So we have got jacks here on the 10k/L table. Gonna obviously be opening and calling to any 3 bets. Okay, that's a really good flop. Could go either way on this one. I think I might just check, because he's gonna, you know, when I just check that, he's gonna be betting out with a lot of bluffs here. So I think that was fine to check on the flop. Okay, that's a really good card. It would be nice if he was betting out with a 10 there, because he's going to have obviously a difficult time folding this river. I guess I'll go for 75% sizing here. Thing is, it's going to be so hard getting calls, really. Like, it's just very rare I'm bluffing this one. Like, where do my bluffs actually come from? Okay, nice, he calls. Yeah, ace 10. Okay, that's really good. I mean, it's kind of annoying that I didn't bet that flop, actually. Probably missed out on a bit of value there. If I'd have bet the flop, then, you know, he'd have started leading on the turn probably, and obviously I wouldn't be folding. But, you know, I'm fine with that. We still won a decent pot. This table, flop to set of 9s here. I think I'm going to be check raising this one. Okay, he does decide to check, so I guess I'll start betting fairly biggish. You're still going to get calls from, you know, 5s, 6s here. Yeah, we do call. Thing is, I don't know whether to go too big here. I feel as though going for a bit of a smaller sizing works pretty nicely, because, you know, what am I looking to get called by here? 6s, 5s, you know, possibly 8s when he calls. So I think I'll just go for 6.9 BBs here. Okay, snaps it off. We're obviously ahead. Wow, how is that the only value I got there? Man, he played that one so passively. I should be walking away with a lot more there. Queen Jack suited. I can have some calls here from the cutoff. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go for a call. Like, I generally raise most of these hands from the cutoff, but I think it's fine to have a few calls, and that's a really good flop. I guess I will go for like a really small bet here. Damn, ends up just folding. King 10 suited over on this table, doing really well here. We've got 330 blinds. I've only just turned on my recording, and so I've missed out on a lot of pots here. You know, I've completely missed this flop. However, I think it's fine just to go for a bet here and then give up on the turn if he calls. Okay, so he does end up calling. However, we've obviously now got the open ender. We don't have a spade on us, which makes it a bit less appealing to bet. However, you're going to think he is going to have some raises on the flop with some spades. So I'm going to continue to bet 75% sizing here, which I think is enough to push off some 7-8, 6-8s. Probably 9 is going to fold here, so I think it's fine to continue betting, but if he does raise, then obviously I'm just going to be folding even with the open ender, because possible flush is on board. Okay, wow. I think I can go big here. This looks as though he could have like an ace. So I think just again going for this 75% sizing is good here. I'm pretty confident that he's going to have a... Okay, he snap folds there. Maybe, you know, maybe he was weaker than I thought. Over on this table, ended up just calling with the Queen 9 suited. Obviously, we've got an easy call here, and I'm still going to be calling this turn because we could easily be ahead. And I think just a check's fine here. There's not a lot of point in betting, really. I guess I call here. 2s, yeah, fairly standard call. And on this table, I just called with the ace 4 suited. He decided just to check back the flop, but with a queen coming on the turn, it being like a high card, I am going for the double check here. If it was something else, maybe I would probably bet this turn, but I'm going to go for a check raise because yeah, he bets small. This could definitely be something like a queen jack, ace queen, when he just goes this small bet on the turn. So I'm actually going to raise this one up fairly big, because I could easily, you know, when I double check, I can easily have some 9-10s or something, and he might look me up. Okay, he probably just had a bit of air there on the turn and just decided to try and get a small bet through. So 9s can go either way. I think I might just call, and possibly, you know, if he's got something, he's got better odds to shove, and then I'm obviously going to snap off the 9s here. He could easily be shoving with, you know, pocket, well, any pocket pair really. Just gotta hope. Wow. Honestly tempted to shove this, but at the same time, he could be trapping with something really strong. So I'm just gonna play the call. Okay, it's a good flop for the 9s, but also a potentially disastrous flop if he has a pocket pair higher than 9. So yeah, we've got a, wow, okay, and he's betting this one fairly sizable as well. Yeah, I don't like this, to be honest. I just think he's always shoving this river. I think I might just fold, and then, you know, if I fold and he has ace queen, ace king, gonna be a bit gutting, but come on, please have something. 10s, yes. Wow. The way he downsized slightly on the turn, it really did look as though it could have been something like 10. So really happy about that I made the fold there, because that was, yeah, tough situation. But I think with the 9s, I just don't think he's blasting that off with bluffs, with too many bluffs there. So yeah, I think the 9s I just had to fold. So call from the big blind. Just gonna fire a small bet here. If we get raised, I'm obviously not folding this one yet. He's gonna have hardly any 2 pairs here. We've got backdoor flush draw, 2 overs. Like, okay, this is actually a possible turn card where, yeah, I'm just gonna go for a shove here. I think this works pretty nicely. You know, I'm gonna be folding out all of his, you know, 7-9 bluffs. I mean, yeah, don't know. Don't love this actually when he's raising, you know, because he can have some 8-9s and stuff, but I think it's fine. Got so many outs. Just puts loads of pressure on anything he has. He could have, yeah, okay, we got to fold. Oh, would have been a really good river card, because it's possible that maybe he had a 10 actually, and we'd have probably got all the money in there if I'd have just called. But like, obviously that's me saying that, just knowing the card. So obviously I'm really happy with how I played it. Like, we had so many outs there, and he could have bluffs that, you know, he was going to continue to fire on the river, and if I'd have missed, I'd have had to fold. So yeah, I think it was a good spot just to shove the turn. Just going to call the Jack 10 suited. Decent flop, obviously. Not really going to have any raises, so just going to call. Okay, that's obviously a nice turn. And if I end up just calling this turn bet, and then, you know, I hit a heart on the river, it's going to look pretty disguised. So I think, yeah, I think I'm just going to call the turn bet, and obviously whatever sizing he goes for a slight over bet. He can easily have some king queens, loads of other hands that we beat. Gonna be bit of a interesting river spot now. See whether he decides to fire again. Does check. Ace queen, okay. So interesting spot here. It's obviously absolutely fine to fold, but I think I'm going to 4-bet this one. He's going to have some bluffs and he's obviously out of position. But if I obviously get 5-bet, then we've just got a nice easy fold with the ace queen off. If he calls, then we're probably looking to be up against, you know, jacks, tens, possibly nines. Okay, that's really nice because we can just keep barreling this one. I mean, he definitely can have some ace kings, but I think a lot of players with my stack, you know, it is over 100 big blinds, but I think a lot are just going to be shoving there with the ace king. So just going to fire off a little 10% bet here. You know, you're not going to get many folds with that 10% bet here on the flop. However, I'm happy building this pot, and that is a really nice turn card now because we've obviously got the ace of diamonds. So here's where I start to size up a bit. Usually, you know, I'd be looking at a sort of 75% bet size in this situation. However, with how much is in the pot already, I think it works really nice just to be going for the half pot. And he just snap folds there, which is good. I think if we get 4-bet, with it being suited, I'm just going to call with how deep we are. You know, I don't want anything too crazy to happen. We like this though. 6s. Yeah, here's obviously a short stack, bit of a fish. He does decide to cash out, so he's got some safety now. He's making a profit no matter what in his hand. Come on, I've been running really well in this cash session, but oh, nice, ace on the river. Okay, I called the flop with 8-7 here. I think I'll just go for sort of a bit of a protection bet here, like just in case, you know, a jack, king, queen, whatever comes on the river. And yeah, I mean, obviously I've got bottom pair, but we've got an 8, obviously open-ended draw, so interesting one here. I guess he's still going to be calling with some of his jacks. Ace jack, probably cool. Could be ace jack. Yep, as that is the hand I thought it was going to be, and it was. So I did just end up calling from the big blind with the ace 5 suited. Sometimes going to go for 3-bet. Wow, I've just checked the flop, checked the turn. You know, he can definitely have some king queen, some ace 10, which is going to want to bet this river. I honestly am going to check 3 times, and I'm going to look a bit silly if he checks again on the river, but let's see. Come on. Okay, I like the fact he hasn't snap checked, which is good. I think he's going to actually fire this river. Definitely going to see bets from like ace 10s. Ooh, goes for quite a big sizing as well. Yeah, this definitely could be like king queen or something. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can obviously go for a smaller raise, but if he does have something like king queen, he's just gonna think I'm never just doing this. Like, am I ever checking 3 times there with a flush? And I can just ship this in if I'm just holding like the ace of clubs. So I think, you know, this looks really kind of bluffy for me, as though I'm just holding the ace of clubs and don't have a flush. And like, this is obviously a massive raise. Okay, he does fold, but yeah, shame I didn't get looked up there. But I think the shove was actually fine, to be honest. Open up the ace 9 suited from the cutoff, get 3-bet. I think ace 9 suited, happy just with a call. Obviously not an amazing flop. However, you know, we're going to have some 5s, 7s, 4s in this situation. So I'm actually going to go for like just a small raise here, because, you know, this is going to fold out any just random hands that he has, which is obviously missed the flop if he decides to bet out. And we've got backdoor flush draw and a couple of overs. So I don't think this is bad. Okay, he does just decide to blast it in, so fine with that. So the 4-bet doesn't need to be huge here. Like, go for a smaller size, it might induce some jacks to shove, 10s maybe shove rather than call, but yeah, I'll see what he does. Looks as though he's been playing a bit tighter. Obviously if he shoves, not loving it, but I'm gonna have to cool off because he can be shoving jacks, ace king and stuff. Wow, what a flop. Okay, how do we play this? I guess thing is I don't think it's the sort of board where going too small is great. So I mean obviously I'm going for small bet, but I mean like a 10%. Damn, he does just fold. Pretty annoying. Wish he picked up something there, but it's alright. Pick up a decent sized pot. Jack 9 suited. 3-bet to 11 big blinds from the small blind. So he does just call. Ace high flop. Pretty much going to want to be betting this one all the time. Just going to go for a small sizing and probably going to keep barreling on the turn, like especially if a spade comes. Okay, that is obviously a pretty good turn card, it has to be said. You can play this a few ways, but I think sizing up big is quite nice here. Really don't want to get shoved on. That is one thing I'm worried about, because it puts us in a pretty annoying spot if we get shoved on when we've got that much in the pot. You know, it would be a difficult decision to make because we just got so many outs. So just really hoping he doesn't shove. Let's go, come on. This is also good because this is going to be a board where I can just barrel with my bluffs here. You know, I could have like 8s or 9s, and you know, when a king comes, you got an ace on board, you can just keep barreling. So this is kind of perfect spot, to be fair. Just got to hope he obviously doesn't have hearts, which is a possibility. Okay, he hasn't snap folded, so it's obviously unlikely he's got a missed draw now, because you know, he would have just snap folded his queen jack of hearts or something. So this, you know, I think we're looking at an ace queen, ace jack here. I think this pretty much, those are the only two hands he's going to have. You know, he probably would have a bit of a decision with ace 10 to make. You know, it's not an easy call with ace 10 of diamonds or something. But, you know, I can't see him having anything other than ace queen, ace jack here, or possibly ace 10. I think those are the hands we're up against. I mean, you know, he could have ace 9, ace 8 suited, but I think ace jack, ace queen is more likely. Does just fold. Obviously wanted to call, but still pick up a pretty nice pot. So it was it's a good turn size in there. Really good spot here. We just called from the big blind when small blind open, and the way he's going for like a half pot sizing, I think he's got something decent here. So I'm actually going to raise with the jack 9, because there are some bad cards, you know, clubs or an ace or something. You know, there's some bad cards that can hit us here. Okay, an ace isn't terrible here, but king jack is a possibility. So I'm not, you know, loving the ace, but there are definitely worse cards, club or a 9 or jack or something. So it's not the worst hand. Oof. That river card, man, that's dodgy, I have to say. Just really hoping not to see a shove here. When he bets quite big, you know, he can definitely have a queen 10 or something, and he would have just made a full house on the river. I can really tell he's lining up a shove here, and this is not going to be nice. Come on, check, please check. As long as I don't see a shove, you know, if he small bets, I'm happy with that. But I can just tell he's going to shove. Don't like this. You know, there's missed draws, but is he really... Wow, that's gross. I just don't think he's just blasting off his missed clubs though. It's just, you know, it's just not a spot that you see people just blasting off the clubs. King jack a possibility. Wow, this is really tough. With the way he went for that half pot sizing on the flop, it just looked as though, you know, he had like a 2 pair without a club, and he's made that full house on the river. I just don't expect him to find these like huge river bluffs after the way this hand's played out. I just think this is a full house every time, to be honest. 8s, 10 queen. Yeah. Fold. 3-bet with ace-5 suited. You know, it obviously can be 4-bet, but it's actually fine in cash games just to be calling with the ace-5 suited here. Obviously picked up a bit of something, but king high board, no clubs. It's not the nicest. Small bet though. Not going to fold just yet, but I think I'm going to have to fold this turn now. Okay, that's kind of good because, you know, he's not going to have ace king here when he checks back the turn. This looks, it could definitely be something like ace jack, ace queen. And so I am going to check now and hope he fires a bet. And then depending on the sizing, I might find a raise, to be fair. Obviously this, you know, it could also be something like eights, tens, and a lot of the time he's going to check back, but it's possible that okay, this sizing, I think this really does look like ace queen. I'm not scared about ace king when he just checks back that turn. So I've decided to go for this slightly larger sizing. See if he looks me up. I'm not sure, perhaps he will. Pretty good player, so I just think 100% this is ace queen, ace jack, you know, maybe ace 10, and yeah, he calls. Nice. King out. Okay, I was really off with my read there. Just looked way more like ace queen or something. However, now I'm thinking about it, hands like ace queen are going to really like to steal barrel on that turn and put a lot of pressure on with bluffs. So yeah, that kind of makes sense being king 8, but at the same time, with a weak king, I don't know about his river bet, to be fair. So against a potentially weaker player, I did call from the cutoff with 4s. Guess I'll just fire a small flop bet now. Okay, it's kind of good that he calls. The way he just checks the flop and then calls when I bet out. Could have something like ace king, but he could also have, you know, tens, jacks, 9s. Okay, that's a really good card because, you know, it reduces the chance of me having a queen now. I don't want to go too big just due to the fact that he's gonna, you know, I think we're up against 8s, 9s, 10s here, and if I go too big, I think, you know, that's gonna have a hard time calling. So I think just going for this half pot sizing is good. Yeah, does get a call. 8s. I knew it was something like that, 8s, 9s, 10s, and that's kind of why, you know, he had to think about that one for a little bit. So I think that sizing worked pretty nicely, to be fair. So I did open 9-8 suited, and this guy did this like tiny 3-bet sizing, and he's now decided to bet fairly large on the flop. I'm kind of happy just getting this one all in, to be fair. Gonna keep betting. Probably not gonna, perfect. I was going to say I'm probably not going to bluff the river. I mean, obviously this would be grim if we run into a higher flush. I think he's got, you know, something fairly strong here. I think we're going to be up against ace king, ace queen possibly. Like, I just think he does have ace king here, to be honest. The way his 3-bet sizing and the way he bet fairly large on the flop. So obviously hoping to get a call. Ace 10, yeah. I was going to say, I knew he was going to be fairly strong there. Pick up, really nice pot just before I'm about to finish as well, which is really good. Finishing up nearly 400 blinds, nearly 20k on this table. So I am going to wrap this session up here. I've been playing for a few hours now. One of the comments on the last video said to post results from each time I play these cash games. Today we have made close to 20,000, which is really, obviously it's a bit less with rake. Obviously you get rake back as well, but yeah, this graph doesn't include rake. Obviously this is only the second cash game video I've uploaded, and they've both been pretty big winning days. However, I am going to make sure I upload some content of me not doing so well because, you know, I don't want to give the impression that these high stakes cash games are just plain sailing. Like, they are really tough, and you have some days where you do really bad. So going to make sure I upload that too. But obviously had a really good day today, which is good. Up nearly 20k. If you enjoyed this content, follow me on Instagram for updates at SprasesAces, and give the channel a subscribe. Thanks for watching.